welcome to Mrs Patnell's Maths Lesson 3 of this week, where our topic has been to look at bonds of 10 and also to explore numbers within 100. So we are going to start today's lesson off with a number of the day. So if you've got your board here, then your number of the day challenges are 15 or 25. 15 or 25 on your number of the day board. Don't forget how important this is if you're doing this. It really is to explore those numbers and realise all the different ways that you can make those numbers using other numbers and what they would look like in lots of different situations. So very important, your number of the day. So well done if you've been doing that all this time. Pat yourself on the back. We are going to do some counting first of all. We're going to count in 5s to 100 and we'll use our special jazzy tune when we're doing it. And we're going to count in 1s to 100 and we're going to sing the Days of the Week song first of all before we tackle anything else. So let's do that now. Let me pop my 100 square on here. I'm going to tilt us back a little bit just to make sure we can see all of those numbers. Okay, so counting in 5s to 100. If we're counting in 5s, we want to look at the numbers in 2 columns on a 100 square. They are the numbers that end in what? They are the numbers that end in a 5 or a 0. So these are the only 2 columns we're interested in on the 100 square. Remember, we're adding on 5 every time we count, so that's why we don't want the other numbers. So, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Where would we go next if we were adding on 5 each time and we got to 100? We would go to 105 and we'd start all over again. 110, 115. Right, so let's count in 1s to 100. We're going to go high on all the multiples of 5 and low on all the multiples of 10. When I say multiples, all the numbers that would feature when we count in 10s, we'll go low, and these ones that end in a 5 will go high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And do touch your 100 square with me if you've got it there. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, we're halfway there now, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. You can still see this okay. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Excellent counting. Well done. Let's flip my board over, for on the other side I magically have the days of the week. We'll sing that through together and I'm going to ask you a couple of tomorrow's and yesterday questions. So there's Monday and there's Tuesday, there's Wednesday and there's Thursday, there's Friday and there's Saturday, And then there's Sunday. Days of the week. Clap, clap. Days of the week. Clap, clap. Right, today when I'm filming this, it is actually a Tuesday. Now it won't be that day probably at home when you're doing this, but I'm going to work as if it's Tuesday first of all. If today is Tuesday, what would the day have been yesterday? So the day before, going backwards, yesterday. Jumping backwards around my circle, you would be yelling out to me that it would be Monday. Okay, so it's still Tuesday. What will the day be tomorrow? The day as we jump on, it hasn't happened yet, it's going to happen tomorrow, the next day. I jump on one around the circle and you will be yelling out to me, Wednesday. Fantastic. Okay, let's put that down over here. Now we're going to move on to do a little bit about our bonds to 10. Or actually, before we do that, we haven't done this in a while and I kind of want to have a go. We haven't done this since probably the first weeks before the Easter holiday, where we were dealing with numbers before. But I would like to be able to show you a card and I want you to write the number on your whiteboard, and not the number I'm showing you, but the number that's one more than this number. Okay, now I haven't got room to put my 100 square up in the background because I'm doing it indoors today. It's a bit chilly outside today, even though it's very sunny. So I haven't got mine here to help you. So hopefully if you need it, you've got your own 100 square in front of you to give you a hand in case you can't quite remember the answer. So we're talking about at the moment one more then. So a bigger number, the next number on is the one I want you to write on your board. So for instance, if I showed you the number 9 on your board, I would not want you to write 9, I would want you to write the number that's one more than 9. So on your board you would hopefully write the number 10. Okay, so it's the number that's one more first of all on your board. So I am going to show you this number. Let's do some smaller ones at the beginning to help us out. I am going to show you this number 3. Can you write the number that's one more than 3 on your board? One more than 3, jumping on one more on the 100 square. Hopefully you have written on your board the number 4. Excellent. Pat yourself on the back if you got it right. Now I'm going to show you a bigger number. Let's go bigger. I'm going to show you this number. What is this number? 13. So you're writing one more than 13 on your board, so you should be writing one more than 13, jump one more on the 100 square, 14. Fantastic. Let's try that with another number. Let's go with one more than this number. What is this number? This number is 11. So one more than 11, you should be writing on your boards. If I was counting on 11, 12. You should write 12 on your board. 12 is one more than 11. Okay, let's try one less now. So hopefully you've all heard me say this. We're going to go one less this time. So not one more anymore, one less. So we're going to count backwards to the smaller numbers, the number that comes just before the number I'm showing you. So one less. Use your 100 square to help you if you want. I know we're not such a fan of one less as we are of one more. Let's start with slightly lower numbers. Let's have one less than this number. So this is number 5. You want not one more, you want one less, counting backwards. What's the number just before 5? You should be writing on your board the number 4. If you got that right, pat on the back for yourself. If not, then look at 100 square. See if you can work out how you went a bit wrong there. Let's do one less than this number. So the number that comes before it, it would be, hopefully you're writing on your board, for that was the number 10. And you should be writing the number 9 on your board for one less. Let's just try a bigger number. Let's go one less than this number. This number is 18. Can you write the number that is one less that comes before 18 on your boards? You should be writing 17 on your boards. Well done if you got that right. Fantastic stuff there. Right, we're going to move on now to our number bonds of 10, okay? Now, we are going to do the rhyme. We're going to chant the rhyme just to see if it will stick in our memories a bit more. It's a very helpful rhyme. And then don't worry if it doesn't, because what have we got to help us with our bonds of 10? What adds up to 10 perfectly and is with us all the time? These little fellas, okay? So let's do our chant. 0 and 10 are big, strong men. 1 and 9 get along just fine. 2 and 8 are always late. Point to your watch on your arm for 2 and 8, always late. 3 and 7 don't make 11 because they make 10 altogether. 4 and 6 are in the mix. Let's have them mixing around together. 4 and 6. And then we have 5 and 5 like to jump and jive. There we are, our bonds of 10 chants, okay? Now remember, these are going to help you as well today. I am going to say a number, and I want you to write on your whiteboard or your paper in front of you the number that is its number bond buddy of 10. So what would you add to the number I'm telling you to make 10 altogether? Okay, and it'll be its number bond buddy. Now remember, in the chant we start in a certain way, so I say 3 and 7 don't make 11, but I could also turn it around and have 7 and 3. They will still make 10 no matter what way you put those numbers, remember? So let's try 4 and 6. 4 add 6 will make 10, but if I swap them round, 6 add 4 will still make 10, so they can go any way round, okay? Right, so I am going to say a number. I think if you're using your fingers, whatever number I say, if you put that number of fingers down, the fingers that are left will be the number you would add to it to make 10. So you have 10 fingers in total. If you put the ones over here that I've called out, then what's left will be the numbers you have to add. Okay, so for instance with 4 and 6, if I said 4, you would put down 1, 2, 3, 4, and therefore you'd be left with 5 on this hand and 1 more is 6. So you would write on your board 6. Like that, and you would show it to me on the screen, and your adults in the room can let you know if you've got it right as well, but I will of course let you know too. So the first one I'm going to give you is the number 2. 2. I'm saying 2. You've got to write on your board its number bond buddy of 10. What would you add to 2 to get 10 in total? Use those fingers. I've said 2. Whoop. How many are you going to write on your board? Pause the video if you want time to think about it. But I'm going to show you now. I had 10 fingers. I'm trying to make 10. I've said the number 2, so 1, 2. I'm going to fold down, which means to add to 2 to make 10. So that I have all my 10 fingers. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you should be writing 8 on your board, because 2 and 8 are always late. Okay, your next one. I am going to say to you the number 7. 7. So I want to know its number bond buddy of 10. What would you add to 7 to make 10? Pause the video if you need to think about it, or use your fingers. What would I add to 7 to make 10? I've got 10 fingers. I said 7, so I'm going to put down 7. I know there's 5 here. I could say 5 and then count on 6, 7. How many fingers have I got left? 1, 2, 3. So you should have wrote on your boards 3. Because 3 and 7 don't make 11. They make 10. So remember, you can have it any way round. The 7 could come first in the adding question, or the 3. They will still make 10. Next one, I'm going to say 5. 5. Can you write the number bomb buddy of 5 on your boards? What would you add to 5 to make 10? Nice easy one this. You should have written 5 on your boards. 10 fingers. I said 5, so what's left is 5. Let's go with 0. 0. There's my hands. I've said 0. Can't put any down. So what would I add to 0 to have 10 altogether? Can't put any fingers down. So what would I need to add to 0 to still have 10 altogether? Have a think, pause the video, write it on your board. So if I've got 10 fingers and I say 0, I can't put any down. So in order to have 10 altogether, I'm going to need that whole 10 still. 0 and 10 are big, strong men. 0, none at all, add 10 fingers, will leave me with 10 fingers. 10. Let's do one more. Let's go with 9. 9. I'm saying 9. What's 9's number bomb buddy to 10? What would I add to 9 to be left with 10 altogether? Write it on your boards. Okay, 10 fingers. I said 9. Let's fold down 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My little finger didn't want to go down then. 6, 7, 8, 9. What am I adding to 9 to make 10? One more. All my 10 fingers are folded down if I add that one more. So you should have wrote on your boards 1. Fantastic work on your bonds to 10. Remember, 1 and 9 get along just fine. So 1 and 9 equal 10, or 9 and 1 equals 10. Could be any way round. Right, let's think what we're going to do now. I would say that we're going to have a go at doing this tricky business of making numbers using Numicon. Now, I want to do it first of all looking at multiples of 10. Okay, so therefore I'm just going to use out of my pack of Numicon the big blue, dark blue 10s. Okay, so I'm going to take all of those out of my Numicon because I'm going to need a few. And I'm not going to use any of the other pieces. So I'm going to put my lid on. Put my lid on there and move those to one side. So I have 10s pieces of Numicon. I'm going to come a little closer to the camera so you can see them nice and clearly. Now, this one piece by itself is worth 10. If I start adding some more 10s, I can count in 10s, you can count in 10s. So I don't have to count all of the holes to work out how many I've got all together. That would take me ages to count all those holes. I can count in 10s. Let's use that to help me. 10, 20. I've got 20 here. So if I said to you, write the number that this Numicon is representing, is showing, then on your board you would write, get my board, you would write the number 20. Okay, 2 lots of 10, 10, 20. So that's what you would write on your board. Okay, now I'll pop my 100 square up in the background so that might help you a little. I don't know if you're going to get to see it too well, is the trouble. So I think it's probably best if you've got your own 100 square there, as that will help you out a little bit more, okay, rather than mine. So, remember, I'm going to show you only groups of 10. We're not going to count all those holes. We're going to count in 10s, and then we're going to have a go at writing that number on your whiteboard, okay? So this is our exploring numbers within 100. Okay, so I showed you 20 before, 10, 20. This time I'm going to show you, I'm going to tilt my camera so you can see my table clearly, okay? So I'm going to put down 1 lot of 10, 2 lots of 10, 3 lots of 10, 4 lots of 10. What is my number? What is my Numicon representing? What number? Count in 10s as you touch them on the screen and then write the number that it's representing on your whiteboard. Have a go at doing that now and write it on your board. Remember, don't count the individual holes, it will take you too long. Right, let's do it together. Let's use our excellent knowledge of counting in tens. 10, 20, 30, 40. I would write the number 40 on my board. If I wasn't sure how to write it, I would look down on my counting in tens, my 100 square. Oh, you do that there, I can't really show it on my camera. And I would look down that column and I'd go 10, 20, 30, 40, and I would look for 40 and realise that it is written with 4 there in the T for tens column. That's my capital T. And no ones, none at all. It's all tens I've got here. It's got 4 lots of 10. So 4 lots of 10 is written as 40. There's my off, my ones column. 40. There it is. So these are my 2 columns, but that's what 40 looks like. Okay, let's have a look at another number. I am going to place out this many pieces of Numicon. You get those all on the camera there. You see them nice and clearly. So remember, count in tens because you know how to do it. Use your 100 square to help you if you need it. But as you touch each piece of Numicon, count in tens because there's 10 holes on each one. Then write the number on your board. So let's do it together. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Remember, it's 6T like a cup of tea and not 16 because that would send you writing the wrong number on your board. So 6T. Now these are all going to be the T type of numbers because I'm dealing with tens. So they'll always have a 0 on the end of these, okay? So not the T numbers, but the T number, 6T. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots of 10. So a 6 goes in the tens column, and I've got no little ones, no spare ones at all. They're all tens. So I've got no spare little ones, they're all tens. So this is what 6T is going to look like. 6 lots of T for tens and 0 ones. So 6T is written like that. The line's there just to show you the divide between tens and ones, but that's what 6T would look like. Let's do another one of those. So I am going to place that on my board. Let's move these along a bit so you can see all of them. I am going to go with this many pieces of Numicon. You can just see those all there on the screen. Don't forget you're counting in tens because each piece is worth 10 holes. It's worth a 10. So let's count in tens. And then write the number on your board, okay? Right, let's count them together. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I've got the number 80. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lots of 10. 8 10 pieces of Numicon, okay? So I'm going to have 8 lots of 10. So in my tens column, I've got 8 lots of 10, and I've got absolutely no little ones at all because I haven't dealt with any of the ones in my Numicon box. These are all in tens. So 8 lots of 10, 8 pieces of 10, and no ones. So 80 written on my board would look like this: an 8 and a 0, 80. Okay. Now I want to deal with a few ones, okay? So I'm still going to be using my tens. This is a kind of stretch task. So if you feel at this point it's just getting a little bit too confusing, then by all means have a listen to it, but you might just want to hang on and listen to the answers rather than write them down, because I don't want you to get fed up that you're not quite sure what to write on your board. So just have a listen, don't switch off as such, but listen to see if you can pick up on any. And give them a go if you can. But those of you feeling super confident, I know, could give this a go. So I'm going to be dealing with my tens Numicon still. So that will be the number that goes in my tens column, how many pieces of 10 I've got. And I'm also going to be dealing in ones. So my teddy bears are going to represent single ones, okay? So if I had this many teddy bears, I would have the number 3 ones, okay? So let me give you an example of what I mean first of all. So if I lay out these pieces of Numicon, I've got 2 lots of 10 there. Let's move it back here so you can see it. 2 lots of 10, so 10, 20. And then I'm going to place down 3 little teddy bears representing my ones. So I've got 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. So this number that I've done on the table with Numicon and teddy bears, if you look at it quickly, represents 23. Okay, so I've got 3 little ones with my teddy bears, so 3 goes in my ones column. And how many lots of 10 have I got? 2 lots of 10. So my 2 lots of 10 goes there. 23. That's my number representing my Numicon and teddy bears there. Okay, let's try another one of those. I am going to put down this many pieces of Numicon, 10 pieces, okay, the 10 Numicons, and I'm going to put down this many ones, okay. So I want you to have a go and think about what number I've created there with the 10s, Numicons, and the ones. The teddy bears are representing the ones. So what number have I got there? Pause the video if you want. It's getting quite tricky. This is quite a stretch task. But now we're going to do it together. I've got 10, 20, 30, 40. And now for the ones. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. So the number I'm writing on my board is 45. 45. So I wrote 45 on my board. Let's just look at that in terms of the 10s column and the 1s column. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little ones. So in my 1s column, I've got 5. How many lots of 10 have I got on this side? How many lots of 10? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of 10. So I have put under my tuff for 10, 4 lots of 10. Not 4 ones, but 4 lots of 10. So I've got 4 lots of 10, which would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. Okay, hopefully that's been sort of kind of clear to some of you as a stretch task. It's quite a big stretch task, to be honest, and a bit more like Key Stage 1 work, but it's always good to sort of have a good stretch at the end of each lesson, just to make sure that you are really making your brain perform as much as it can do, okay? So, let's just tilt our camera back a little bit. So that is the end of our maths lesson for today. Okay, we've been looking at number bonds to 10 and exploring numbers within 100. Have a go at home, maybe, of doing this stretch task a bit more. You don't have to have Numicon or teddies to do this, okay? You could have representing your 10s, maybe pens, and every pen is worth 10. I've got 10 holes in it, but you know, because you're telling yourself that each pen is worth 10. So if I had 2 pens, and they're representing 10, they're worth 10, then I would have 10, 20, but made out of pens. If I didn't have coloured teddy bears, but I did have, what have I got on here I could use? What's this? A button. I could use anything. Let's say the buttons are representing my ones. What would my number be? If my pens are representing 10s and my button is representing 1s, I have got 10, 20, 1. 21 would be my number. So you can stretch yourself at home using anything, as long as you're clear what's representing the 10s, what's going to be the 10s, and what are going to be the 1s. So have a go at stretching yourself by doing that at home. And I'd like to see some of that on Tapestry if you're in my class, or sharing it with your adults at home if you are not. I will see you again tomorrow for one more maths lesson on our topic of bonds of 10 and exploring numbers within 100. Bye bye, see you then.